Alright guys, right, just here to do another sort of unplanned video. You can see I don't have the camera on the tripod because I'm going to be moving about quite a bit. Just going to sort of show you recent CDs that I've bought in the past 2 months. I was going to do it for the past month, but due to a lack of money, I've only bought about 4 CDs in the past month. So I'm going to do it for September and August. Just going to show you what CDs I've picked up, obviously. So here we go. The first CD here is the first of 3 Simon and Garfunkel albums I've bought recently, and it's called Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. Don't know if you can see that clearly. It's a really good album. Got a couple of classics, like obviously you can't see it, quite blurry. I'll just read them. Scarborough Fair / Canticle, Homeward Bound, 59th Bridge Street Song, better known as Feeling Groovy, For Emily Whenever I May Find Her, some brilliant songs, and a really brilliant album. Some might say a classic, I'd probably agree with that. It's a really excellent album. Essential if you're a Simon and Garfunkel fan. Another one, Sounds of Silence. Not as well known, but underappreciated, I think. Couple of classics here, like Sounds of Silence, obviously. Kathy's song, I Am a Rock, and some other less known ones, like Leaves That Are Green and Richard Corey. Not as good as Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme, but a really good album, I must say. And here's their debut album, Wednesday Morning 3 AM. It's not bad. I mean, it's alright for a debut, but a lot of them are sort of covers of old traditional, sort of religious songs, like You Can Tell the World, Go Tell It on the Mountain, Last Night I Had the Strangest Dream. They're all sort of typical folky religious songs. But there's a couple of good songs, like Bleecker Street, Sparrow. There's an acoustic version of The Sounds of Silence, and the title track's pretty good. But apart from that, it's not really essential. If you're a completist, then you'll obviously really want this. I suppose I recommend it a bit. It's not bad. Elephant by the White Stripes. Really good album. Just got into the White Stripes after picking up Jack White's debut solo album, and sort of worked back the way. This is amazing, really good. Got a couple of classics here. Well, not really classics, I suppose, since it's not that old, but some really good songs like Seven Nation Army is probably the most famous song. I Just Don't Know What to Do with Myself, Ball and Biscuit, The Hardest Button to Button. Really brilliant, really quite brilliant. One of the few, not really recent, but one of the few albums released in the last decade that I've bought. In fact, it's not really the last decade, it's anyway, just over 10 years ago. Rubber Soul by the Beatles, obviously one of the best albums of all time. I was actually quite surprised because my dad has most of the Beatles albums. Didn't have this one, so I went out and bought it and picked it up quite cheap. But it's really good. I won't even bother saying the classic songs here because there's just so many. Basically all good songs here. There's a couple of ones that aren't as good as others, but they're all good songs. And you know, if you're a Beatles fan or a fan of music in general, you will love this album. So pick it up now, even if it's like 11 o'clock at night. Go out and buy it. Queen, Night at the Opera. I don't know. I picked this up because I'd heard it was like one of the best albums ever, and obviously it's got songs like Bohemian Rhapsody and You're My Best Friend. But apart from that, I don't think it's amazing. You know, I think it's a bit overrated. There are some really good songs. It is a good album. I just think it's a bit overrated, and it's not really my sort of thing, I suppose. But It's a good album and there's a couple of brilliant songs. So yeah, I kind of recommend it. It's not terrible. It's pretty good. Um, anyway, next album, brilliant album, probably one of my favourite albums of all time at the moment. It's Surrealistic Pillow. Oh, very hippy dippy. Surrealistic Pillow by Jefferson Airplane. One of the great bands of that sort of San Francisco West Coast area. Um, this is a brilliant album. There's not really a bad song here. A couple of absolute classics like Somebody to Love, probably the most famous song. Chances are you will have heard it, you just won't know who it's by. And White Rabbit. I'm actually quite amazed that White Rabbit was a hit. You know, it was a top 10 hit, and it's really quite strange. It's sort of quite very dark, quite sparse. Um, it's in that sort of unusual bolero tempo, but it's brilliant. All the songs are good here. A couple of other ones that are good, like Today, She Has Funny Cars. I don't know what that means at all. How Do You Feel? All good songs. I might do a review of this later, go into it in more detail. But for just now, it's amazing. Really, oh, I can't recommend this and more. Can't recommend this more. If you're interested in that sort of psychedelic genre or in that sort of West Coast scene, this is essential purchasing. Anyway,